Okay. All right. Shalawam. All right. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kodash. Double honor to our apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and the true Shalawam. All right. So this is GMS precepts. My name is Azar Khud. I have here, as you can see, Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter pulled up, and pretty much I want to go into the seven brothers, man, and how they showed a lot of mental fortitude. They showed a lot of faith. They showed a lot of courage. They showed a lot of integrity. And we're gonna have to be in that same spirit in the time of Jacob's trouble, man, because they're gonna, if brothers don't know, might be some new brothers, but this account is a very important spiritual story to read about the seven brothers and how they resisted um uh well, I'll just read it, the first verse. It says it right here in the first verse. They resisted transgressing the law of their fathers for a heathen, man. Okay? Which correlates to now when the time of Jacob's trouble arises and the chip is forced on the people. If you're an Israelite, okay, you are to resist taking that, man. If you have faith and you believe that that's the mark of the chip, the wrong thing for you to do is to submit to Satan, submit to Esau, the devil, and accept that chip. Because if you accept that chip, you accept Esau as your pretty much as your God. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna just read the first verse. Second Maccabees 7:1. It came to pass also that seven brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, Why wouldest thou ask, or what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the law of our fathers. Okay, so that showed a lot of integrity, man. He said, you know what, I'd rather die than to listen to a heathen, than to follow the ways of a heathen. Okay. All right. Why? Because he understood that by rejecting Esau, by rejecting a heathen, all right, and following the law, statutes, commandments to the death, that was a righteous thing for him to do. Okay, he didn't fold. He didn't accept the 501c3 charter. He didn't transgress the law of his fathers, man. Okay, now this is a pretty lengthy chapter. It's got 42 verses. I'll just go with the spirit, see if I'll finish it or not. Okay, but that time is gonna come when we're gonna be forced to take that microchip. We're gonna be forced to do something against the laws of our fathers, man. Okay, it says, then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire, to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was good for a space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, The Lord looketh upon us, and in truth hath comforted us, as Moses in his song, which witness to their faces declared, saying, And he shall be comforted in his servants. So when the first was dead, see, and that's heavy, man. The other six brothers and his mother watched him die. Okay, and what did they do? They resorted back to the scriptures of the account of Moses. Okay, and why? Because they knew there was a blessing of resisting the heathens, man, and dying. It says here to die manfully. Okay, by following the laws or keeping the laws, man. They knew by doing that was a blessing. So that takes faith in itself. Okay, because it showed that it showed that they truly believed. Okay, it says so when the first was dead after this number, They brought the second to make they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, Wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body? Let's see what he said, man. He said what? But he answered in his own language and said, No. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou, like a fury, takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. So see, they understood that, man, and that time is gonna come, because you're gonna have a time. Matter of fact, let me get that in let me get that. What is that? Romans, man, right? Romans 13, because you're gonna have a time. We're gonna approach a time when that's gonna be forced on the people, man. Okay, all right. Matter of fact, let me get not 13. I can get 13, but let me get 12. Okay, because this is the mentality and the understanding that we have to have. Romans 12:1. It says, "I beseech you, brethren, by the by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service," man. Which is your reasonable service. So you got to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, man. Okay? And that's what these brothers did. They gave their bodies up as a living sacrifice. Matter of fact, what verse is that? Verse the seventh brother, I believe, he even said that. What verse is it? Yeah, verse 36 right here. It says, "For our brethren," this is still in second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, verse 37, verse 36. Right? It says, "For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under God, under the Most High's covenant of everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of the Most High, shall receive just punishment for thy pride." Now he's cursing out Esau, man. Okay? It says, verse 37, here's a point. "But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation." Remove this. "Speedily merciful to our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayst confess that he alone is the Most High." So he said what? He offer up our body and life for the laws of our fathers. Okay? Why? Because he knows that the Most High is going to be speedily merciful, man, unto our nation. And that's coming soon. Right now, we're approaching the end of our punishment. Okay? We're approaching the end of our punishment. We're approaching the end of our captivity. Okay? And that's what a lot of Israelites don't realize, that we're approaching the end of this, man. This is the end of it. It tells you that in Jeremiah, 50 or 49. It tells you that in Lamentations 4:22. Okay? Our punishment is up. Our punishment is accomplished, O Zion. Okay? So we are to resist. We are to be in the same mind frame as the 7 brothers, man. And if you go all the way down, I'm not going to read all of it. If you go all the way down to the 6th brother, even the mother, they all did what? They all resisted, man. Okay? They all resisted. Now there is a time not to resist, but as long as it doesn't come in between you and the laws, man. Okay? When they say y'all take this microchip to eat, that's when you don't listen to the Most High. That's when you're not subject unto the higher powers, like it says here in Romans 13. Right? I'll read it. It says, Romans 13:1, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High." So we understand that Esau, the devil, all right, the so-called white man, has been put in that position, or placed in that position by the Most High. We understand that. Okay, so it says what? Be subject unto them. Now this scripture is tricky, because this is what the Christians or the clergy response team, all right, or the ones that have that 501c3 charter. This is the scripture that they're going to use to tell their congregation to listen to the government. Okay, all right, listen to the government. They're going to actually use this, and this scripture has been used for centuries, for years. Okay, to what? Listen to master. Okay, but you're not. But the only time which you are supposed to abide by the rules, the laws here in the land. Why? Because we understand that we're under captivity, we're in slavery. But when it comes between you and the Most High, or if it's gonna what, transgress the law of your fathers, that's when you resist, man. Okay, and an example of that is the mark of the beast, or the RFID chip. When they tell you, the microchip is mandatory and you must take it, that's when you don't do it. Why? Because in Revelation 14 it tells you what happens if you take that chip. If you take that chip, the Most High is gonna put you to death, man. There's no way around it. Most High is gonna put your ass to death. Okay. All right, if the law, I'm just giving an example. If a law was passed to be like, look, you gotta have you must be a homosexual, that's when you resist. Okay, so as long as it impedes you from being able to keep the laws, that's when you don't listen. But other than that, the law says what, you must have a valid driver's license when you're driving. Have a valid driver's license, man. Okay. Even though there's laws, there's the strong man and all that shit, but you know what? Make it easy. Just abide by the laws, man. Okay. But I just wanted to highlight the mental fortitude and the amount of faith and integrity shown by these 7 brothers. Okay. Matter of fact, let me get this scripture. Psalms 34 and 15. Is it 15? It says Psalms 34 and 15. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. Okay? The eyes of the Lord upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. Okay? So when you're under a situation and you need the Lord's deliverance, you need the Lord's, whether it be faith or whether it be, any situation that you need the Most High, that's a time to cry on to the Lord, man. Just like the 7 brothers did. Okay, they well understood that if they don't take that, if they don't eat swine's flesh, if they don't follow the ways of the heathen, that they're gonna get deliverance. Okay, because they understood that this tribulation that the nation of Israel is going through is only temporary. It's only for a short amount of time. Okay. Matter of fact, since I mentioned it, let me get this scripture. What is it? I believe it's in Lamentations 4, and I'll close out. 4 and 20. 4 and 20. I'll read 21 and 22. It says, Lamentations 4 and 22. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Or what is that speaking about? That cup is talking about the cup of tribulation. Okay? That cup that we had to go through as a nation. That cup is going to pass on to the nation of Edom, as well as the other nations. That cup basically is representing of the curses. All right? Let me get that in Deuteronomy. Oh, you spell this. What is it? Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy 30 and 7, it says, And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Now all nations persecuted the nation of Israel. All right, the nation of Ammon, Moab, Ishmael, okay, Elam, Japhet, Ham, Edom is that top nation, but all nations they put a hand. They had a hand in our downfall, man. So the Most High is gonna put curses upon them, but primarily, the bulk of the curses is gonna go on Esau, man. Edom, they are the most hated, man, and they are the ones that did the nation of Israel much harm, man. Okay. Verse 22, it says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." Okay, so the Most High is getting ready to judge the nation of Edom, and he's showing you this didn't happen yet. When in history did this happen? Because you have those that say that Edom or Esau is done away with. When were they done away with, and what iniquity or what punishment has the Most High done to them? Okay, and it already tells you in Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, that prior to the nation of Israel coming back into that power seat, okay, or being that top mountain, that Esau is gonna rule. Okay, all right. So when did that happen? Okay, all right. So that's pretty much it. Until the next show. Shalom, brothers. Shalom.